Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new but also a little bit different video here on the channel today, because initially I wanted to make another regular how to draw video. That's the most content you can find here on my channel. In this case I wanted to make it for Ceratosaurus, which was a recommendation, but I figured out it would be cool to have another voiceover. I did that in one of the last videos where I talked about my experiences and things I learned in the past 10 years of drawing. By the way, check that video out. So I wanted to support my whole drawing process with this art piece. So yes, I don't want to talk too much, although I'm doing that right now in the moment, but I just want to comment on it and tell you a little bit about it so you can get maybe some inspiration and can adapt that on your own process. As you maybe have already seen now, I started with a rough sketch. I don't go straight directly into the perfect shape because in my opinion it's not possible to create directly a perfect drawing. But on the other hand, I neither go with shapes like you oftentimes see people using triangles, rectangles or circles to combine them and in the end connect them to the overall shape of their object they want to draw. Of course, that's a good way to start, but it's not really well made for me. I tried to learn it once, but and I still do it in my sketchbooks, but when I do proper works I don't quite like to use this technique because I have to really have the image of what I'm drawing right in front of me so I can work better. Of course, one disadvantage of drawing like that is that I have to rework and rearrange stuff quite often. So of course the legs, as you can see, I had to rework and erase and made new ones again. And also the arms I had to do over and over again. So it's quite exhausting, I know, but for me, just personally, it works better drawing like that. Of course, everyone has to do it in their own way, but for me it's just that way that it works better. And after I'm finished with the sketch, I'm going on to using a pen and creating the overall outline, so that in the end it creates a pretty good contrast to the colors that I use. So now that I have finished the pattern and its contours, I'm going to apply the colors on the animal. And therefore I didn't look up any inspiration like I oftentimes do when I draw things from Jurassic Park, for example. But I rather went with my guts, you know, so with my inspiration or intuition to create something how I think the animal might have looked like. And yeah, so I think I just do not talk right now for the moment and just so you can enjoy the whole coloring process. Now that I've covered the whole drawing process of the animal, I wanted to go on with some general information about Ceratosaurus with an educational or informational purpose in, yeah, you could call it an entry for Bestiary, so that it has this kind of aesthetic look to it. Yeah. Ceratosaurus lived what is nowadays North America and Europe, and potentially Africa, in the late Jurassic period, around about 150 million years ago. It measured 5 to 7 meters in length and weighed up to 900 kilograms. Ceratosaurus was a medium-sized predator of its region and belonged to the theropods, to be more specific to the family of Ceratosauridae. It was described by Othniel Marsh in 1881 and found in the Morrison Formation. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it, and maybe I could have inspired you to improve your own artwork and that you learned a little bit from it. Yeah, let me know in the comment sections whether I should do something like this again, and how I myself could improve my art. That would be really great. And of course, thank you for watching. But for now, I hope I see you in the next one, and until then, bye bye.